listeners, welcome back to Tales and Trails with Anmol. And this is the second episode of our series Voices of the City, where we bring you stories, laughter, and wisdom from people who shape our everyday lives. And in today's episode, we will shed light on a very important but less heard perspective, the experience of those who stand beside the guardians of our nation. Joining us today is Mrs. Swati Singh Keth, a very talented and distinguished event planner who has curated over 60 prestigious military events and several commercial events while embracing the journey as a military daughter earlier and now a military wife. A very heartwarming welcome, ma'am. You have grown up in a family with military background, your father being a veteran naval officer, your husband and your brother are also serving naval officers. So how is life of a military brat different from that of a civilian?
Hi, Anmol. First of all, thanks a lot for having me here. I am very delighted to be putting out this perspective that we have from the military point of view. So, as far as the question goes, what kind of a life we have is that it's very nomadic and rootless in a fashion. When somebody asks us, where are you from? So, we actually pause for a second and think, where are we from? Because it's actually that we are a little bit from everywhere, you know. So the life in the military is very different from what it is outside the military, as I would say, because we are always moving. There are transfers. There is a lot of separation, depending on which parent is in the military. Sometimes both the parents are in the military and the child is totally alone. So there is a lot of false narrative out there regarding the same also, that the lives are, it's all uniform and flashy and parties and things like that, but it is very very different uh, in the shell of it, actually. So I have been a naval daughter most of my life, and recently, a couple of years back, I got married to a naval officer, and my younger brother is also in the navy. So I have seen the life very closely, and as a child it is very different, because as children we have a different routine, and you have to go to the park and go to the school and tuitions, and it's all hunky dory, and you don't know what actually is happening as in the adult's life. So now when I'm on this side and I have a son of my own, and now I'm a military wife, so things are very different. I know what the threat is, and especially with Op Sindoor so close, we know that the threat is very real. Yeah. So and the Navy, Army, Air Force were so involved, and usually people tend to not know what the Navy is doing, because it's a little off coast. It is near the shore, but it is a very very important aspect. Majority of our country has a water shoreline, coastline, which has to be protected. From here we have Middle Eastern countries, we have China, we have Pakistan and all of that. So the Navy is holding the coastlines basically. So the threat is very real, and as a wife, it was absolutely mm, crazy to be, to be facing something of that sort. My father was a part of Kargil, and my husband and my brother were a part of Op Sindoor. So uh, the threat is very
We
real.
can only imagine the resilience required for the us.
It's, I don't know what to say.
Ma'am, you just mentioned that defense life often involves frequent relocations. How have these transfers influenced your personal and professional life?
So ideally, defense kids are called brats. I'm sure you would have heard that. Yeah. So brat is a little negatively associated, but there is a full form to it. The full form is born, raised, and transferred. That is what BRAT stands for. BRAT is not us being bratty. BRAT is that we are born, raised, and transferred, and um, so the transfers they affect us a lot. We are moving depending on the nature of the work our husband is doing. Whether he's an aviator or he's on ship or he's flying or he's a navigating officer or if he's teaching. Yeah. So nature of the work decides our movement, but movement is there, and the movements can be as short as every 9 months. I have had friends who have moved every 6 months. In a marriage of 5 years, they have changed 11 houses. So it can get as crazy as that. And we have our military trunks. We pack them and then we move, and everything moves. We are, like I said, we have a very nomadic sort of a life, and when we move, the family moves, the kids move. Their friends change, schools change, and everything is, it's like you're being uprooted, and it's like taking a plant out of the pot and putting in a new pot and then another pot, and uh, and it becomes very difficult. But that is what comes with the military life. Like I said, it is not all what it seems to be. In the movies, like the just parties and this uniform, and it is not that. It is a lot that is going on, and transfers affect us a lot. So when we go, we don't have houses, we have to live in transit accommodations, and our luggage is in holding, either it's in somebody's garage. So these problems from a military wife point of view. And see, with the husbands and the wives who are serving, they don't have to go to the office. We are the ones who are managing. It comes down to a trivial thing. Like, now recently we moved to Bombay, and my son had to go to school, and we were in a transit, and now transit accommodation is like a mess. How do you explain to the mess staff that that my son, he's 3, I need his tiffin. So we have to find our ways and means. That is where our creativity and resilience comes. Ki kya dena hai bacche ko, tiffin mein. So everything, it is a big event, and we have to do this every 9 months, 1 year. New place. When you reach the new place, you have a house, you don't have a house, and the husband has to go. He is on duty, he's never off duty, so he too has to go. So the lady has to handle whatever is going on. So
And what about the professional life of that lady?
we all have independent careers, and the whole point is that we learn to kind of get into the mold and make our way out of it. That is what. See, we marry military men, to hold them and support them, and we are madly in love with them. So that is what, everybody wants a life that, I can marry somebody outside, in the civil and settle, don't have to move houses, and, don't not have any of this extra work. Everybody wants a very stable sort of an environment. But when we have chosen to be here, we have a certain responsibility towards the uniform that our husband is wearing, towards the organization we are attached with, you know. So, yes, we have plenty of work opportunities, but it comes always with a disclaimer that, it has to be managed. We have women who are working, and, we have big Bollywood stars who are working. They are married to naval officers. Big TV stars are working. They're married to naval officers. We have scientists who are working. So so you work, and, it should never be a hindrance, and it never is. With military men, they are so supportive. If and it's a ladies game, that's what I feel. It is the same everywhere, whether it is in the civil or it is in the military. A lady job is a lady's job. That's what I feel that way. So definitely there is a little bit of a hunch in career, But if you have your mind to it, then nothing can stop you. Like, I have been into events for so many years, but just because I moved out of my core base, that didn't stop me, you know. So that resilience that I want to do it has to be there, and then nothing can stop you. That's what I think.
It's a really beautiful answer, ma'am. To wrap up, my last question to you would be, what lessons from your own experiences you could share with people who are entering the defense life, who are planning to enter into military life?
See, experiences are gained on the journey. That is what I feel. The experiences that we can hear from other people, yes, they do have some sort of weightage, but it is a all in all experience when you are a part of the military. Nobody can train you for it. Nobody can make you ready for it. It is one of those things. But uh, saying that, still there are a couple of things that you can always keep in mind if somebody is planning to enter this sort of an organization, whether it is by wearing the uniform or marrying somebody who's wearing the uniform, is that you need to have a lot of emotional stability. A lot of emotional stability is required because we tend to lean on our family, our parents, our siblings, or our husband. Now you are sitting somewhere in a remote posting and there's nobody. You are all by yourself in a house. Maybe if you're lucky, you're with kids because you have company. But there's going to be a time when you're going to be all alone. You know, so you have to understand. I always take it as a military wife that I am wearing an invisible uniform. So I have to have that level of emotional maturity and stability. That I am if I'm alone for a couple of months, I will be able to work it out. Other than that, problem solving, that just comes naturally because uh, there is nobody. Sometimes you're in a place where there is no Amazon, there is no Blinkit, there is nothing. Imagine a place where the Amazon cannot locate your location, and you try to give in a pin code and they're like, what is this big code, in the army it happens. I'm not kidding. I have friends who have had this sort of an experience. So it is difficult. It is difficult when you have to plan in advance. If you have to have a party next week, you have to plan this week, and and arrange for the items, you know because you're in a place where the food truck comes only once a week.
Oh
So
my God.
yeah, so you cannot imagine, that is what I'm saying. The military life is so difficult that you cannot imagine what is actually going on. You cannot imagine. And everybody should be very thankful that at every point of time, somebody is paying for this freedom. Somebody is paying for you to sit around, say, in your house and just relax. That is the price which is being paid all the time, 24/7, by somebody or the other.
I'm deeply moved by your words. My respect for military people has just increased 1,000 times. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your insights with us. It meant a lot. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Anmol. There is always pride and joy to talk about our organization and to educate people. And it is really nice to be here and to be speaking to you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
So much, ma'am, means a lot. Thank you again, ma'am. Your experiences remind us of the strength and dedication that lies behind every uniform, not just in the officers who serve, but also in the families that stand beside them. I am Anmol, and this was Voices of the City. Join us next time for more such inspiring conversations.